And welcome back to the Triple Coverage Podcast. My name is Mitchell Graham.
Zach Brown.
Cody Batten.
And we are here for episode 3. College football is finally back upon us. It came back upon us last week, week 0, but that was just kind of, the appetizer, the chips and salsa to the enchilada or the fajitas that's about to be put onto your plate this week with week 1.
Must be hungry.
And what? Oh, I am. And we ate a lot of chips and salsa. Some of us ate more than others.
Yeah.
And we're ready for the meal. And I'm going to pig out in the meals. But we have some things to talk about first from week 0 and before we get into week 1. But first, we have a quiz. Zach has won the first 2 weeks. This is the first week that I will be competing against Cody. So let's see. Zach can't win this week. Unless we all go 0 for 5, I guess Zach wins.
Yeah.
So I will give Zach the floor here and see if he wants to, explain the game real quick.
All right. So I had a couple of different ideas, but I think I settled on this one. So I'm gonna name the quarterback, and you're gonna tell me the team that he plays for. He may not be the starter, but he is at least on the roster of this team. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start with Mitchell.
Okay.
Maddox Madsen. Who does Maddox Madsen play for?
Maddox Madsen is the starting quarterback for the Boise State Broncos.
That is correct. There you go. So that's 3 points. If you get it with no hint, that's 3 points. If I give you the conference, it'll be down to 1, and then you can also steal. So Cody, You're down 3-0. Give me, what team does the 3-time transfer Malachi Nelson now play for? And was recently named the starter for? I can't hear you.
You are muted.
You're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
He is muted. So that's
So you get to retry that guess because I didn't hear you.
How about that?
Oh,
there you go.
Yes.
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I heard you.
Dude, I didn't guess. I was saying I probably need a conference.
You need a conference?
Oh,
Yeah,
conference. I'm going to give you. Let me confirm what conference they're in because I am not 100% sure.
I could tell you.
They're in Conference USA. Conference USA.
Okay. Liberty.
I knew they're in one of 2 conferences. Liberty, that is not correct.
Dang. Okay.
Can you steal, Mitchell? Who does he play for?
He was just recently named the starting quarterback for the University of Texas El Paso.
Yep, UTEP. The Miners.
I never got that.
The Miners.
It's my boy, Malachi Nelson. This is third team. USC, Boise State, and
former
UTEP.
5-star quarterback. Doesn't get to start till he gets to
Don't
UTEP.
let me get my bag.
All right, Mitchell, back to you. You're up 4-0.
All right.
This is a layup, an absolute layup. Right, matter of fact, you're already up, so I'm going to skip that one and give you a harder one. Taven Jackson. Taven Jackson. Who does Taven Jackson play for?
The name rings a bell. I'm allowed one guess, right?
He used to play for Indiana. I'll give you that. Used to play for Indiana.
I'm allowed to have a guess, right? And
yes.
A guess and then a conference, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
My guess for Taven Jackson is Arkansas.
That is incorrect.
What is the
He
conference?
plays in the Big 12.
Taven Jackson plays in the Big 12. Okay. Taven Jackson felt like a big old Arkansas guy. Big 12, Taven Jackson. It's not going to be a BYU. It's not going to be a Taven Jackson is the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
That is incorrect. Cody, give me the Big 12 team that Taven Jackson is more than likely going to be the starter for.
Washington State.
Hey, that's not the Big 12, so I'll give you another
guess. Okay.
They're not in a conference, basically. They're in the Pac-12.
Oh, that's right. I thought they moved over. Okay. Let me think.
He used to play. He used to be the starter for Indiana before the Kurt Signetti.
Baylor.
That is incorrect. It is UCF, the current starter for
I wouldn't have
UCF
got
this
that.
year.
Oh,
Taven
dang. Yeah.
Jackson.
I wouldn't have got that.
So
All right.
Rourke took his job.
Yeah.
Took Taven Jackson's job. Okay.
He's a dual threat quarterback. He's got like blonde curly hair.
I know exactly who the guy is.
Yeah.
I know him. But you know what I think was throwing me off was and I should have went away from Arkansas. You said Indiana. I saw him in those colors.
Yeah.
For sure. So, dang. That's
all right. Cody, the layup that I was going to give Mitchell, I'll give to you. Dante Moore, who does he play for?
Horrible names, dude.
Think about why it would be a layup. Think about why it would be a layup. Former UCLA quarterback, Dante Moore.
It's probably a recent. Is he a starter? Oh, you can't tell me that.
I'm pretty sure he's been named the starter. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure he's been named the starter.
Is he?
He has.
So I get a guess, and then I can get a conference, right? Okay, got it.
That's correct.
I'm just gonna guess like Texas A&M.
No, the conference is the Big Ten.
I was way off.
Again, think about why this would be a layup. What team would he have to play for?
That's the part that's throwing me off.
What team would he have to play for it to be a layup?
I'm rooting for you here because there's I think
the
you know.
Part's throwing me off. I like it's on the tip. Dude, it's the pressure.
5 seconds.
I say Penn State.
No, Mitchell.
It's Oregon.
Oregon.
Okay.
Dante
Okay.
Moore.
Okay. Why is that a layup? Why was that throw me off?
Well, because they're like a top 2 team in the Big Ten.
It's Oregon, and Dante Moore was originally recruited by Oregon, then decommitted to go to UCLA, then transferred back to Oregon.
Right. Okay.
All right. Mitchell.
You knew it wasn't. You knew it wasn't Ohio State. You knew it wasn't Michigan.
Nah, yeah.
So yeah.
This is back to you, Mitchell. You're up 5-0.
All right.
Chandler Morris. Morris.
Former SMU quarterback.
Was it SMU? I thought it was TCU.
I think he played for both.
Chandler Morris. Who's he currently
Morris,
rostered for?
I think this is his 4th team. I think this is his 4th team. I know the name. He wears number 7. Man. I'm going to know his freaking jersey number in the 3 teams he's been to and not the team he's currently on. Chandler Morris. Okay, I get a free guess. So I'm going to go back to Arkansas.
No.
Okay.
He plays in the ACC now.
Chandler Morris plays in the ACC. It's not SMU. That's Kevin Jennings. These don't have to be starters, right?
No, they're not necessarily starters.
Okay, so that logic thrown out because you've got Kevin Jennings for SMU, you've got Castellanos for Florida State, Klubnik for Clemson, Mensah for Duke. You've got Pittsburgh's got their starter. Let me go with. I'm gonna go with Boston College.
That is not correct.
Yeah,
Cody.
Right.
It's Syracuse, right?
School. It is not Syracuse. It is Virginia. He now plays for the Cavaliers.
Dude, no one freaking cares.
Cody.
I'm gonna find out where this kid played before.
Jalen Kitna.
There's no way.
Who does he play for now? If I'm not mistaken, I think Jalen Kitna was it can't be. Is it the same guy that was kicked off Florida for?
No, different.
No, that's not, okay, that's a different Kitna. Jalen Kitna. I believe he's related to John Kitna, former NFL quarterback John Kitna.
You were right about Chandler Morris, by the way. He played for Oklahoma, then TCU, then Northern Texas. last year. He played for Northern Texas. I don't know who I was thinking of that played for SMU.
I'm just going to go ahead and give you the conference for 3 points.
Yeah, go ahead and give me. Yeah.
It is wait, hold on. Let me double check. It's either the American or the Sun Belt. I need to double check.
You can just tell us the team, and we'll tell you what conference it
is.
They are in the American Conference.
Jalen Kidna sounds. Oh my gosh, that kid! He had to be like a 5-star or something. It sounds so familiar.
I'm trying to remember who's in the freaking American Conference.
They were very bad last year.
No, that's a Sun Belt team. Crap.
Very bad last year, Jalen Kidna.
It's not. Dude, I can see their logo, dude. Oh crap. It's not Southern Miss because that's
their Sun Belt,
right?
Yeah.
South Alabama.
No, it is not South Alabama, but you get one more guess for 1 point.
Okay.
You're getting warmer
with
South Alabama. You're getting warmer.
I'm feeling it. UAB.
That is correct for a point.
I'll take a point.
Jalen Kidna plays for UAB. All right, it's 5-1.
I couldn't get Old Dominion out of my mind for some reason, even though they're a Sun Belt team.
Mitchell, to you, you're up 5-1.
Yeah.
Former Vanderbilt, I forget what other team. I think Mississippi State quarterback Mike Wright now plays for what team?
Oh, jeez, dude. Yeah. If you would have told me the two teams he played for, 100% I would have known. I was a Mike Wright believer.
Yeah.
I was a big Mike Wright believer. Big athlete.
And I am pretty certain that he did not win the starting job for this team.
Yeah, I feel like I would have heard of it going through my research. Mike Wright, 2 years at Vanderbilt, a year at Mississippi State. He was back behind the freshman. Give me the conference. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to take a guess. Obviously, I'm going to take a guess. It's a guy you don't really know their starting situation. I feel like he probably went down. I'm going to go with a team like Sam Houston State.
That is incorrect. The American Conference.
Okay.
I know this team is in the American Conference.
Okay. Well, that's then a staple for that team, staple American Conference team. Would he happen to play for a team that you know very well that you used on Dynasty, which is why you would know they're in the American, East Carolina?
He does play for East Carolina.
Nice.
6 points. So you know
some good logic there.
Come on.
All right. Cody. Cody.
He's going to look good in that purple.
Talon Green. Who does Talon Green play for?
Frick you, Russell.
Who does Talon Green play for, Cody?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, think about why Mitchell is upset that I said Talon Green. Think of a team that he has already mentioned multiple times.
Which ones did he mention? He mentioned
oh, come on, Cody.
Sam Houston State.
No, don't.
No. Give me the conference.
Okay, the SEC.
Arkansas.
There you go. We only got 1 point. We only got 1 point, though.
Dude,
6-2.
Whole freaking time.
I only mentioned Arkansas twice, but I see what you're saying.
6-2. All right, Mitchell, back to you.
Last one, right?
For you, yes. Former UAB quarterback Jacob Zeno is now on the roster for what team?
He's also former Baylor quarterback Jacob Zeno. He actually played in the second quarter against Georgia when in the Sugar Bowl at one point because their starter got hurt. Jacob Zeno went Baylor to UAB. Man, I don't know. I wasn't keeping up with.
He isn't. I can tell you right now, he's not starting for this team.
Jacob Zeno. I mean, that's kind of a hint where I can start using that logic again. It's a team that has an established starter. Jacob Zeno, I think he probably went out and is playing for Troy.
That is incorrect. They're in the SEC.
He's in the SEC. Jacob Zeno is in the SEC. How did he do that? He sucked at UAB. He was horrid.
Team needs some depth.
So he's back in the SEC. Jacob Zeno plays for the Kentucky Wildcats.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
Cody, can you tell me what SEC team Jacob Zeno
dang it, dude.
plays for?
Isn't he with Mississippi State?
No. He plays now for the Texas A&M Aggies.
Are you serious?
He is the backup for the Aggies.
Oh, dang it, dude. He's the
wouldn't have
backup?
got that.
Oh, because
Marcel
Wegman
Reed.
is in.
Marcel
I
Reed
know,
is
but
the starter.
Wegman is at Houston. now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Dude.
Cody.
Mm.
Last
I
one.
literally, every single person you've given me, I've told you the two teams they've came from.
Well, I also mention the teams they come from every time I
Well,
talk about them.
but I
so.
told you two of them. I told you another one. I knew Jacob
All
Zeno
right,
played
Cody,
for Baylor.
here we go. Josh Hoover. Who does he play for? He's been all over social media the last 2 weeks. Come on.
I've been on social media last
That
week.
is
No,
a lot.
come on.
That is a
the
lot.
problem.
Come on.
His memory's a little furry.
Dude, my memory's awful.
Yes, he came out as a furry. He is a furry. And that's why
Wait, I did read something about this.
That's
but
why
I don't remember where he came
that's why I think this team is legit going 3-9, because I can't believe he admitted he's a furry.
He's a good player, though.
from. Dude,
Really good player. He's a really good player, actually.
I have no idea. Give me a conference.
It is the Big 12.
Okay.
The only conference that would happen in.
I would have a furry.
The only
I feel like that's an Arizona thing to do.
it is not Arizona. Mitchell enlighten us as to what team he plays for now.
Funny enough, this Josh Hoover plays for Texas Christian University.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
You.
he's the TCU starting quarterback. Yes.
I-
He actually
I
put
don't-
up some
wait.
great numbers last year.
Wait a minute.
He is a ball player, dude. He's good, and that's
He's
why I
also
don't think
just
they're
a
gonna.
furry.
I don't think they're gonna go 3-9 just because he's a furry.
It's not just because of that. It's because of the very feminine TikToks that their football team's been putting out there.
I'm trying.
Uh,
Okay.
I don't believe in that team, dude. I don't believe.
It's okay.
He looks kind of furry. Wait a minute.
But yeah, that's our quiz. Mitchell wins. I think it was a 7-2 final score.
Started
So,
out hot, but
thank you guys for participating. in the
yeah.
quiz today.
I'll
Thank you for
guess
the
I'll have it
quiz.
next week then, right? Yeah.
My
Yes.
memory
Actually, wait. Hold
fails
on.
me again.
Cody, I'm gonna relinquish the floor and let you give the quiz next week.
I will take it. I will gladly take it. I'm gonna get really convoluted, so you guys are gonna regret this.
Do
He's
it.
gonna give us a
Do
Georgia
it.
Tech quiz. He's gonna be
Do
like,
it.
Just the
it's
jackets.
gonna be
the
like
whole
it's
Do
time.
gonna be like
it.
anagrams. It's gonna be like anagrams, like Georgia.
Who
like,
is the third string left tackle for the Yellow Jackets?
That's what year is the Ramblin' Wreck?
Jeez.
What
I'll
team?
give
did
you. I'll
Georgia
already
Tech
give you a
beat?
hint. It's gonna be mascot related. I'll tell you that.
That's awesome.
What team did Georgia Tech
Give you a
beat in the
hint.
Belk Bowl in 2006? I don't know. All right, let's move on
I
to the
see
next
no furry
segment.
pictures, guys. I think you're lying
Look.
to me.
Anything that you say, anytime for some reason someone says Belk Bowl, all I can think about is Virginia Tech. I don't know. They just feel like the Belk Bowl team.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Week 0 game, the Ireland game, Kansas State, Iowa State. I'm pretty sure all three of us watched it. Watched it from
I
start
watched
to
the
finish.
first quarter.
Oh yeah, you went golfing Saturday, didn't you?
I did.
So I
the
watched.
first
Me and Cody watched the game in its entirety. It was a good game. I mean, honestly, it was entertaining. There was a lot of chaos, a lot of fumbles, and the field conditions were really bad. I don't know what happened to the field striping, the paint on the field. It was gone in the first 2 minutes of the game. I understand it was raining, but they play soccer on that
Ireland,
field,
they know
and
that.
they can stripe it better than that. But anyways, I digress. It was a fun game to watch. I should have went with my gut and picked Iowa State because I did mention that I wanted to pick them last week, and I didn't. Should have went with my gut. The underdog always wins in Ireland. Something about that.
Mhm.
The underdog always wins out there. So
The luck of
I
the
should have
Irish,
picked
man.
Iowa State. But it was a great game. Avery Johnson had a good game. Rocco Becht had a great game. And man, I like that. I like that little running back Iowa State's got. I think his last name's Hansen or something. A little white guy.
Carson
But dude,
Hansen.
he can. He's a ball player. They've got both of these teams are going to be, I think, going to be competing for the Big 12 title. Even though I don't think I put that in my predictions, but after watching them yesterday, I was pretty impressed with them. But any thoughts from you two on that game that you watched?
Yeah, I think a big part of this game has to boil down to the absence of Dylan Edwards the whole game, losing him on basically the first play of the game almost for them.
Mhm.
He caught the punt return, twisted his knee. He is their best player. So on the offensive end, outside of obviously Avery Johnson, who I think played a pretty flawless game. He was a little shaky early in the first quarter that I watched. He was just kind of not making the quick decisions. I know it was raining, so the ball was coming out weird, but ended up with only 9 incompletions, 273 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I really think he settled in. I think if they have Dylan Edwards, they win this game. Now, Joe Jackson's a good back, but he's not nearly as dynamic as Dylan Edwards, especially out of the backfield, catching the ball, stuff like that. So I think that we really don't have a proper eye test on Kansas State as a whole. Credit to Iowa State. I think from the start they were the more physical team. Their defensive line kind of controlled the run game from the start for Kansas State, and Iowa State showed. It's a big win. This is a win that's going to matter coming down to the end of the season when it's getting 2 9-3 teams, and one of these teams can get into it and get a chance into the playoff, which I think, and I picked Kansas State to make the playoff and win the Big 12. So I think they still can do it. It's a big win for Iowa State, but I do think that loss of Dylan Edwards is a key factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting how the offenses just woke up second half. We actually saw, KSU, I think, is still the better team, and they kind of got explosive and made some great plays. Both defenses played well. I'd like, if you played that game again in the States, I think KSU wins. But
Correct.
It's, Ireland's weird, and I really want to know how badly that field messed everybody up, because there was a point where you couldn't see anything. Like the logo's gone, the striping's gone. You're the refs were struggling with the line and knowing it was, even the computer graphics couldn't figure out where the lines were, so we didn't see our yellow line anymore. I was curious how much that, and the rain was awful. You really couldn't see it until you saw it close up, but the rain was pouring for a long time. So a lot of those fumbles, it was strictly weather. So I'd like to see that again here. I think KSU wins, but awesome game.
Maybe it was just me, or maybe it was just the type of grass out there, but the grass looked really thick, like it hadn't been mowed or something. Like it looked really.
It's very
thick.
soccer like grass, and soccer grass is very different than football grass usually. So that's how it. That's why it was more of a.
Too.
Yeah, correct. You don't have as many lines on soccer fields. You have the middle line, and then you have the around line, but they can use different paint for that. So I think a lot of factors played into it. I think you need to start. Look, I like the idea of having an Ireland game, but I don't think it should start the season every year.
I like the idea somebody suggested on Twitter of putting the 2 worst SEC teams playing in Afghanistan every year. Just put like Mississippi State versus Kentucky in Afghanistan to start the season and just see what happens.
On like a tanker or something like that, playing, because they used to do that in the college football season or the college basketball. Do you remember that?
In the middle of the desert. Yes, I remember when they used to put an aircraft carrier.
Play on an aircraft carrier, which was sick.
Hey, we could put a football field on an aircraft carrier.
100%.
That'd be crazy.
100%.
That'd be awesome.
I'd watch that.
You wouldn't have a crowd. You wouldn't be able to have a crowd though. It'd just be like Literally, they'd just be playing in the middle of the
It'd
ocean.
be like Tribute to the Troops, the WWE show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the only other week 0 game I even watched was the Stanford Hawaii game. No, I watched the Kansas. I watched the Kansas game. Kansas looks great. If Jalen Daniels can stay healthy, I think they can compete for the Big 12. But that's a big if. He hasn't been able to do that yet. They looked at the top of their game. Fresno State's usually a contender in the Mountain West, but they just did not look good. I don't know if that's a credit to Kansas State's defense.
They lost
or
a
if they're
lot.
just they did lose a lot. And EJ Warner, I don't know if he's really all that great of a quarterback. He's had to transfer twice. He couldn't win the starting job at Rice, but then he wins the starting job at Fresno State. So I don't really know how good of a quarterback EJ Warner is. But impressive win by Kansas State. And then the Stanford-Hawaii game. I called it on the show last week that Hawaii was going to win that game. I think Stanford really is that bad. They had to convince a guy to come out of retirement to be their quarterback, Goldbranson. He was at Oregon State for 2 years, retired from football. They convinced him to come out of retirement because they had no quarterback. And then Goldbranson just looked lost in that game, did not look good, could hardly complete a pass. The only thing Stanford could do the whole game was run the ball. And they lost to a quarterback who couldn't even walk. He was literally limping the entire second half, could barely walk. And they lost to a kicker who they lost to a kicker who was born in Japan and had to learn how to kick off YouTube. So Stanford not in a good position right now. Probably going to be the worst Power 4 team in the entire NCAA this season.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Stanford's bad, but I do think we need to take a moment.
Go ahead.
Take a moment and do what?
Go ahead. I think we need to take a moment to appreciate just how good of a game Micah Alejado played.
Yes.
Micah Alejado played a great game.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
He fought, and he's a kid from Las Vegas, Nevada, who, he's small, but he's running a very obscure offense with run and shoot, which is very fun to watch. But I really like it, and I think this Hawaii team, it grew on me a little bit. They're usually a very just like gimmicky team, and while they had a little bit of gimmick, I really liked watching them play. So
good old Timmy Chang. Good old Timmy Chang.
Now I'm going to let Cody speak.
I was just going to say, do we need to talk about how they're not the Rainbow Warriors anymore, and they're just the Warriors?
They haven't been the Rainbow Warriors in like 20 years, I think.
No, they've been Rainbow Warriors.
No, but they dropped the rainbow like 20 years ago. They used to be the Rainbow Warriors. They dropped the rainbow from their name. Like
they were the Rainbow Warriors even last year.
If the college football season started in June, they would be the Rainbow Warriors.
Yes. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you. Matter of fact, they're only the Rainbow Warriors in June. That's the only time.
That's where the Furry should play. He should go to Hawaii.
They should. Look at that.
Still known as Rainbow Warriors, it re-standardized to the Rainbow Warriors in July 1st, 2013. Continues to be used today. But I heard on the radio on TV, they said they were changing it to just the Warriors. I'm going to research that.
I think it's one of those deals where it's like officially they're the Rainbow Warriors, but like unofficially they don't ever refer to themselves as that. They just call themselves the Warriors now. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I mean, the Rainbow Warrior, that's the coolest name out there. Like, you should keep the Rainbow Warriors. That's pretty cool. But it is what it is. Hawaii's always had really awesome uniforms, in my opinion. I think that green and black just pops. But unfortunately, they just don't have a very good team. Other than the year that Georgia blew them out in the Sugar Bowl, is like the only time they had a really good team.
Colt Brennan.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. All right, so let's I think that's all the segments. Let's go ahead and move on to our picks for this week. Our week one preview. Well, before we get into picks, let's just talk about the slate that we have for week one. Is this the best week one slate that we've ever had? Like, I don't remember. Like, we've always had a couple of really big games, but like every game on this list that we're picking, and there was like 2 or 3 more that I could have picked, is going to be a barn burner. I think are going to be great games, great matchups.
I think so, because usually it's like Saturday's really good and you got one really good Sunday night game. But we've got like Thursday night has a great game. Friday night has two big games playing at the same time that we're going to, while we're sitting in the cabin, Zach, we're going to have to decide which one to watch.
Yeah.
And so, and then Saturday, me and you are going to be plopped on that couch.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
yeah.
Plopped on that leather couch in that cabin with Pops asking us 1,000 questions. And you know what? It's going to feel like life is complete, you know,
Yes.
and it's going to be great. I do think so. I think this is one of the best slates we've seen from top to bottom. I wish Georgia played a better team.
Yes.
But at least I don't have to stress on a good Saturday.
And at least we actually get a home opener and not a neutral site to start the season.
We do get a home opener.
Yeah. So Cody, what is the one game that you're the most excited to watch this weekend?
Outside of the obvious one on Friday night.
Outside of Georgia Tech, obviously. What's the one
Yeah.
you're most excited to watch?
Honestly, and I'm just looking at the slate. I'm really excited about Clemson LSU.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. The battle for Death Valley.
Everybody's talking about Texas and Ohio State. And that'll be fun, but I don't know. I just Clemson and
yeah, that's the one I was going to mention too. That's the one I was going to mention too. But the obvious one is Texas Ohio State. I mean, that game is going to be incredible. You've got all kinds of predictions around that game. I honestly haven't heard very many people pick Ohio State to win that game,
which is bad.
Yeah, and we'll get into that when we get into our picks.
I think Sunday's underrated too because you've got Virginia Tech, South Carolina,
yes,
and Notre Dame, Miami.
Which is it?
Sunday's
just me?
Exciting too.
Is it just me, or does Virginia Tech feel like the South Carolina of the ACC?
It's the same color too.
They feel like the same team, so that's why I think the game's going to be.
Well, it's because they all jump up and down in the introduction.
Beamer, his dad, Frank Beamer, Virginia Tech.
Yep. It makes a lot of sense.
Virginia Tech, dude. I'm telling you, they are the.
That's a very good point.
Of the ACC.
Mitchell, Virginia Tech is only better.
Mitchell, what game are you most anticipate? Oh, go ahead, Cody. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying Virginia Tech is is the best over South Carolina strictly because of Metallica. That's it. I'm sorry, but Darude Sandstorm does not beat Enter Sandman ever. So that's why.
Yeah. All right, Mitchell.
I think we all have our favorite games this week, and we have the big names, but I am actually looking at a game on ESPN Plus, Merrimack versus Kent State.
No, you're not. You did not care about that game.
I'm just kidding. No, actually, Syracuse, Tennessee, I think is going to be a very interesting game. I'm interested to see how Syracuse comes out without Kyle McCord, and how is Tennessee going to start their season with a new quarterback, with all the drama that happened last season, with all this really the humbling that they took at the hands of Ohio State in the playoff. I'm very interested to see in that game in Atlanta, neutral site. Anything can happen. They don't have Neyland behind them. It's a little bit more of a drive for Syracuse. It's the battle of two really ugly oranges, but
who's more orange?
Who's more orange? It's like that Clemson Tennessee game back in the
Orange Bowl. It was the Orange Bowl.
In the Orange Bowl. But this game's going to be going up right against Texas Ohio State. We're going to have to connect YouTube TV to that TV and have the multi-box going 100% because too many good games at once. And one more that I will mention, I think Alabama Florida State will be really good in the first half.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that game as well. I think there's even games I think New Mexico, Michigan's going to be close.
Wow.
I think Bryce Underwood in his first game is going to be a little rocked. He's going to be a little bit over, he's going to try to force it. He's going to try to show out. And I think he'll be a little juiced, and I think New Mexico will keep it. Now, obviously, I don't think they're ever going to think they're losing the game, but I do think that the game will be a little bit closer. But we'll get into all this kind of stuff here in a minute.
All right, so let's get into the picks. The first one that we are picking, and just before we get into the picks, I'd like to remind everybody that I'm undefeated. I am 3-0. I've never lost in these picks, so I'm looking to retain my title. A reminder about the points: when we pick our games, we will pick a winner, and then we will pick how close we think the game will be. Close is one possession. comfortable 2 possessions. Big is 3 or more possessions. You get 2 points if you get it exactly right, like the winner and how close it is. 1 point for just getting the winner correct. And then we'll get to our super dog pick, where the rules are you must pick an underdog. You have to pick an underdog. They have to be at least a 7-point underdog. And instead of us calling whether they are going to beat outright, I think if they win outright, you'll just get the 5 points anyway. You don't have to call an outright win. And if they cover, you'll get the 3 points. If they tie the spread, you'll get 1 point, and obviously 0 if they don't. So with that being said, I think I'm going to start with Cody. The first game being Nebraska versus Cincinnati. Neutral site being played at the Chiefs Stadium at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Give me your prediction on this game. It's happening on Thursday night.
So this one I've had to think about a little bit. This is Raiola's second year, right?
That is correct.
But did he start? He didn't start fully last year. Was he the starter last year?
He played every game last year.
He played every game.
Yep.
I've got Nebraska, but I've gotten comfortable. I thought might be a blowout, but I don't know how Nebraska's going to be the first game. I feel like they're going to make a few mistakes early on and potentially maybe even find themselves behind. But I think they'll figure it out kind of towards the second half and kind of pull away from it. So give me Nebraska comfortable.
All right, Mitchell, give me your prediction on this game.
I think this game's going to be close. I think these are two very similar teams. They've got quarterbacks who are really coming off their first year starting. I like Nebraska's weapons more than Cincinnati. You've got Dane Key, you've got Ja'Cory Barney, you've got Demetrius Johnson, you've got Quentin Ives at the running back position. I really do like Nebraska as a team and as a whole. If they didn't play in such a competitive conference, like I think if Nebraska played in the ACC, they could possibly be a top 3 team in the conference. I think they've got that kind of talent. And the defensive end, they're much improved. I do think that Cincinnati's defense keeps them in this game. So I've got Nebraska close.
All right, I've got Nebraska comfortable in this game. Have been very vocal about I am not a fan of Satterfield. I don't think he's a good coach. I don't think he's going to make it much longer at Cincinnati. They went 5-7 last year with a pretty decent roster. I think the only leg up they have on Nebraska is Sorsby. I think is a slightly better quarterback than Dylan Raiola, at least statistics wise. But other than that, I think Nebraska's got them beat in every other position. I think they win this game comfortably. I think their fans are going to travel. It's going to be a lot closer to Kansas City for Nebraska fans than it will be for Cincinnati fans. I have zero confidence that Cincinnati will be able to win this game at all. So give me Nebraska winning comfortably. I think Dylan Raiola takes a big step forward and matures a little bit more as a quarterback, and has a good game. Yep. Next one, let's go Auburn at Baylor. This is a Friday night. This is a Friday night game.
Yeah.
Auburn at Baylor. Mitchell, why don't you start us off with this game?
Man, again, this game kind of came down to the quarterback, I think. And Sawyer Robertson got better every single game last year for Baylor. I think that you talk about a coach that's kind of, might be on the hot seat or might be kind of aiming towards the hot seat. I think Dave Aranda needs a good year out of the here for Baylor. He needs a year where they take steps forward. And I think that this is a good start to the season. I think their defense is going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Jackson Arnold early. Sawyer Robertson's going to be able to take advantage. I expect this game to be very low scoring. I think it's going to be one of those ugly, low scoring games where every possession matters. It's going to be a field position game, and it's going to be won in the trenches. I think Baylor wins the trenches battle, and I think Baylor wins it close.
Yeah, I'm going to go Auburn close. It would not surprise me if Baylor won this game. But these are two coaches that are both in very similar positions. They both are kind of, if they're not on the hot seat, there's still a lot of pressure on them. There's potential for them to be on the hot seat by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's a lot of pressure on both coaches. And again, I as I said in the SEC predictions last week, I don't like what I'm hearing about the quarterback situation out of fall camp for Auburn. Talking about how Jackson Arnold doesn't have the offense figured out, basically hinting at that. He didn't outright say that, but you can kind of get context from what he's saying that seems like Jackson Arnold doesn't have the offense figured out. And so I'm a little concerned about them. I do think they find a way though to win this game. They don't want to. They don't want another Cal. What happened with Cal last year, losing to them at home. I think the defense is the difference. I think Auburn has the better defense in this game. I think they make one more play, one more sack, something like that. Auburn, I agree with you, Mitchell. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but Auburn wins it in a close one. Cody.
So when I make picks, usually I'll lay them out according to what I think will win. And I like to choose one that I think might need to be flipped, like an upset. And I chose Auburn at Baylor. So I'm actually going to go with Baylor close. Everything I found showed Auburn should win this game. I think they're favored. Vegas thinks they're favored. But I don't know, man. I just, this one was a coin flip. I thought, it's at home. This could be the one I flip. And so I decided to choose this one. So really no reasoning outside of I needed an upset, and this is the one I'm picking.
All right.
Hey, RG3 is actually calling this game, which I thought is interesting.
Oh yeah, former Baylor quarterback
Fox.
RG3. All right, I'm going to start off this next one. Georgia Tech on Friday night goes to Folsom Field at Colorado. When I analyzed this game, I was really looking at a lot of the position group differences. Georgia Tech, I think, kind of has them outmatched in pretty much every position. I think Haynes King is better than Caden Salter. Even though I like Caden Salter, I think they're better in the trenches. They've got a better defense. They're going to be able to run the ball more effectively. And really the only advantage I see here is Colorado being at home. But now that, and Dion, I don't wish him ill. I don't want him to not succeed necessarily, but I think we're going to start seeing him lose interest a little bit in college football now that his sons aren't playing. And I got Georgia Tech winning this game comfortable. I don't think Georgia Tech ever trails in this game. I don't think they're able to pull away necessarily, but they never trail. They win this game comfortably on the road. Cody, your beloved Yellow Jackets. It's going to be no surprise who you pick in this game.
It's no surprise, but maybe a surprise by how much. I'm going to have Tech close, and this is what we're good at. This is what Brent Key is known for, is going on the road and beating somebody. And the problem is we are favored. Everybody thinks we're a dark horse. And I don't know if you guys heard Brent Key's press conference about a week ago where he was just dogging on how bad everybody was and how everybody sucks. And I think it's a little bit of a trickery to keep his team focused and not get it in their head, because that's something that we do. So, it's just two completely different coaches. One's hard-nosed, in the trenches, and the other one is backyard football with stars. So, if you told me Colorado won, I would believe you, because they win games that they shouldn't. But Georgia Tech wins games that they shouldn't too. So obviously I'm choosing my Jackets, but I think it's gonna be close.
All right, Mitchell.
I agree. I've got Georgia Tech winning close. I think that the thing that I don't agree with the whole Tech won't trail. I do think Tech will actually trail early. And I think it'll be the energy for Colorado that brings them out. And I do think Georgia Tech's going to have to get adjusted to the thinner air of Colorado. I know that's a thing that you don't really think about, but I think there's going to be a lot of winded defensive players. If Colorado comes out and does a very long drive, a 10, 11 play drive, the defense is going to be gassed. You can't breathe as well up there in Colorado. But I do think they have the better position players. I think Haynes King is enough of a veteran leader in the locker room that he's going to be able to pull them together. And I think this is an anti-Auburn Baylor game. I think both teams are going to put over 30 on the board. I think it's going to be high flying. Once they both find their rhythm, it's going to be who can stop the other team. And I think Georgia Tech will pull it out very close. But this was almost a coin flip for me, because I do view these teams in two very similar ways that they either could. I think that Colorado, if you put the right mix together, and Caden Salter is as good as he showed flashes of at Liberty, that Colorado could be a sleeper team in the Big 12. And we know a lot of people have talked about it. They're almost not becoming a sleeper in the ACC because everyone is calling them a sleeper in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
But Tech could very well win 9 or 10 games and put their names into the playoff consideration. Tech gets this one.
All right, next game up is the game in the Mercedes-Benz, at Mercedes-Benz. Syracuse at Tennessee, the battle for who's more orange than the other.
Yeah.
The Syracuse Orange or the Big Orange, Tennessee. So, Cody, give me your prediction on Syracuse and Tennessee.
This might just be because I hate Syracuse, and it's all because of Fran Brown. I don't know, just hate that guy. But I've got Big Orange winning big. I think they're going to blow them out.
Wow.
Syracuse has lost a lot. And, part of me might be just because I want to see Syracuse get destroyed. And, half of me is like, oh, an ACC team beating SEC. I do not give a crap. Screw Syracuse. I hope Tennessee puts 30 on them.
All right, Mitchell, give me your prediction for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Tennessee, but I think it's going to be close. I do think that it's going to be a feeling out process for Joey Aguilar. Even he played at App State, and I know they play a couple of teams, and Syracuse isn't like the cream of the crop, but I do think that he is going to struggle early in this game. I think Syracuse is going to be able to put a lot of pressure on him, force him into making one or two mistakes. But I think just overall SEC line on the defensive end specifically is just going to wear down Syracuse, and I think they will eventually win this game. But I think it's going to be a lot closer for comfort than Tennessee fans are wanting in this game, and it's going to be one of those games where they can't just, go and leave the room in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to sit there and watch it the whole time.
Yeah. Well, so the last 2 weeks I've been pretty vocal about me predicting that Syracuse is going to win this game. But
And you're backing off of it.
But yeah, I'm backing off of that. I'm taking Tennessee close. I reserve the right to change my picks whenever I want to. This is our show. This is my picks. But again, I would not be shocked at all if Syracuse would win this game. Steve Angeli,
I will be rooting for it.
Steve Angeli is actually the better quarterback than Joey Aguilar. If we're going off statistics and QBR rating, Joey Aguilar had more interceptions than he did touchdowns last year. So that's concerning for me. He only had the spring to be able to get used to this team. Tennessee's defense, I think, is going to be the difference, though. I think that maybe they make one turnover, maybe a fumble, something late in the game that wins the game for them. But it would not shock me one bit if Syracuse found a way to win this game. Next one up is Alabama at Florida State. Mitchell, I'm going to let you take the lead on this game.
You know that I probably pick against Alabama more than anyone in any sports show ever, right? But I do recognize that Alabama has a pretty complete team this year. I think they have one glaring hole that is not even a hole. I think it's a question mark, and it's Ty Simpson. And I think Ty Simpson is a needle mover. If he is below par, I think this team's going to be below par. But if he is even a, Jake Coker level, kind of don't turn the ball over, get the ball out quick, kind of almost like a Will Howard was last year for Ohio State, give it to your playmakers, don't make many mistakes. I think this team could be very good. I think this game's going to be close early. Florida State's talked a lot of mess coming into this game. Thomas Castellanos has not been able to keep his mouth shut, and Alabama hears that. I know it's not the Saban days where Alabama takes everything personally, but I think Kalen Bohr has got enough fire in him. These boys have enough fire in them. I think it's going to be Alabama comfortable. I think it'll be a 2-touchdown game, but I do think that it will be either tied or a 3-point game at halftime.
Yeah, I've also got Alabama winning this game comfortable, and the reasoning is 3 words: bulletin board material. That's basically what you just said with Castellanos. You do not give teams, especially well-coached teams, bulletin board material. He's been talking all sorts of trash all season long, saying, well, this isn't the Saban Bama, so we're not scared, and this, that, and the other. And listen, dude, y'all were 2-10 last year. You can't really talk a lot of mess. I understand there's a different quarterback running the system, but y'all were 2-10 last season. You can't really say much. And so that's really all I have to say about it. Alabama, I think this is another game where Alabama never trails. I don't think they ever trail in this game. Alabama comfortable.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, as much as a ACC homer, Florida State just deserves to be smacked in the mouth. And we saw not last year, but the year before that, it was the quarterback that was why FSU was so good. And last year we see just didn't matter how many dudes they had, they couldn't pull anything together. Quarterback play was okay, but 2 wins. I mean, good gosh, you were number 10 when you started the season. I think it's going to be pretty similar. I think they'll have more wins than last year. Of course, this isn't an FSU, conversation per se, but dude, Alabama's so complete, SEC all day. I think they're going to get smacked in the mouth. I think it'll be like you said, it could be close for the first half, but I think they'll pull away. I chose comfortable, but it could be big.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's at Doak Campbell is the only thing keeping it from being a blowout.
Correct.
I mean, nobody goes to those games now.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen how bad it is? And the whole thing's under renovation too.
Well,
so I don't think there'll be a crowd.
My team went 2-10 last year. I wouldn't go to the games either. But
I would. Who would we?
if my team believed in DJU, if my team believed in DJU, I would not go to a game. They believe
that's fair. But my thing is, if Georgia went 2-10 and we returned a good roster, we would be excited about them coming into this season.
Yeah, we would. It's okay.
Well, you're Georgia fans. It's very different.
Next game up, I'm going to start it off. The battle for Death Valley. Who's the real Death Valley? LSU at Clemson. Listen, this game could literally go either way. I think LSU has a legitimately good enough team to win a national championship this year, as well as Clemson. I think both of these teams are national championship caliber teams. Garrett Nussmeier, look, we've been hyping him up every year, and every year he plays well, but he doesn't play to that elite level like we expect him to. And this is his last chance to do that. And then there's Cade Klubnik as well. I feel kind of the same way with Cade Klubnik. He hasn't played to that elite level just quite yet, but it seemed like Clemson was figuring out their offense at the end of last year. I have flip-flopped back and forth on this game several times, but I'm going to pick LSU to win this game close. Brian Kelly has to get that first game monkey off of his back. The last 3 years in a row, losing heartbreakers in week 1. They have to get that monkey off their back if they're going to move forward. If they can't get that monkey off their back, they're not winning a national championship. If they can't get past this game, then it's going to be in their head, because every time they lose that game and it gets in their head and they don't look the same. So they've got to get that monkey off the back. Brian Kelly has said they've made a special emphasis on winning week 1 this year. I think it pays off for them. They win the game by a field goal. They win it close and start off the season well. This win probably puts them in the top 5 because there's going to be a lot of top 10 teams that lose because of all the matchups. I think LSU moves into the top 5. So, Cody, who do you got winning this game?
So I'm going to be rooting for LSU, but I'm choosing Clemson close. If this is the Clemson that we saw glimpses of in the last few games of last year, and they've got all this development and some of those guys in the transfer portal, look, there's a reason Clemson's number 4 right now. They are super complete. I don't think Cade Klubnik has to play to an elite level because he's got the dudes around him. He could play okay, and they could still be undefeated and play an ACC championship and be in the playoffs. LSU, I mean, you got to prove it to me. Brian Kelly, you got to prove to that you can do it. You haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to go with what history says. I don't think they're going to win their opener. And I think they may even lead for 3 quarters, but I think Clemson figures it out in the end. So Clemson close.
Mitchell.
And I will preface this. I don't think that this game is an elimination game by any stretch of the imagination. Both of these teams, I think, will end up making the playoff. Both of them will comfortably, probably. I think this game comes down to which quarterback can make the best plays down the field late in the game. And I'm looking at I'm looking at LSU. You brought in Barryon Brown from Kentucky, who is a speedster. He's a deep threat. You've got a guy like Nick Anderson, who's a junior. He has experience. You've got Aaron Anderson. And you've got a running back that you can rely on, sophomore Caden Durham, who was good in stints last year, and he's back. And I'm a Nuss Daddy guy. That's my dude, Garrett Nussmeier. I love the way he plays. I think he's a gunslinger. I'm a big gunslinger kind of fan, and I think that's going to be the difference. And I think Clemson's going to get mad about this game, and they're going to play their best football for the next 8 to 9 weeks before they slip up again. I think my prediction was they lose their 2 SEC games this year Clemson does, and they don't lose a game in the ACC. I think that could hold true. But give me LSU close.
All right. Next game. So before we get to this next game, if Virginia Tech is the South Carolina of the SEC, would you guys also agree that Clemson is the LSU of the ACC? They just seem like very similar vibes of a team. Which, I mean, they're both Death Valley. They're both Tigers. So, I mean, it's like the perfect matchups.
Clemson started to do more purple in their uniforms.
Yeah. Which is why I think this week 1 is like so good, because it's not just the ranked matchups. It's the caliber of team. It's the similarities in style. Like, I think that's why it's such a good week. All right, next one, Virginia Tech at South Carolina. Actually, no, this is a neutral site game. Virginia Tech versus North Carolina on Sunday. So, Cody, give me your prediction on this game.
I just keep choosing SEC, even though I'm an ACC guy. I'm choosing South Carolina comfortable. I think there's just a lot more weapons on South Carolina's side, and Virginia Tech seems to win some and lose some, but they haven't shown me anything to say that they're going to improve from last year. So give me South Carolina comfortable.
Mitchell.
This game's going to come back down to the better quarterback. And I think Lenore Sellers is the better quarterback than Kyron Drones. I think Kyron Drones really showed us last year that he's not that elite level guy that we thought he was, and had you really excited. I think SC's going to control this game for the most part of the game. Give me them comfortable.
All right. This game, I've got South Carolina winning this game big. I think it's a blowout. South Carolina, they're just better at every position. I do like Kyron Drones, and I will push back a little bit. I still think Kyron Drones is a very talented quarterback. The second half of the season last year, this Virginia Tech team really turned a corner. But that's been the story of Brent Pry since he's been there. They start off slow. The first 6 games, they start off slow, and then they start figuring it out at the end of the year. And I think that's going to be the same thing. You keep showing me who you are. I've got to believe you. I think they do that again. They start off slow to begin the year, and that starts off with a very sloppy blowout loss to South Carolina here. Again, I don't think it's ever in question, unfortunately, for Virginia Tech fans. And I don't mind Virginia Tech. I kind of like them a little bit. I think they've got probably the most unique color scheme in all of college football. I don't know of anybody else that's maroon and orange, but unfortunately, they just haven't had the right coach in there since the Frank Beamer days, and they lose again here. Notre Dame going on the road to play Miami. Catholics versus convicts being resurrected once again. This game has been historically one of the best rivalries in college football, or at least one of the most entertaining rivalries in college football, at least. And so, let's go with Mitchell. You start on this one.
This is going to be an interesting game, and I really do think it's going to, again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, it's going to come down to the quarterback position, and I think Carson Beck's going to make one more play than the young CJ Carr, I think, who is for Notre Dame. I didn't really get a chance to talk about it much last week because, I was having the issues, and I really feel like I wasn't able to articulate how I was feeling. I do think that Notre Dame's going to struggle a little bit at times in their big games this year, just coming off one of their best seasons since 2012. But I think Miami's got something to prove. They're going to come out gunslinging, and I think they're going to win this game close.
All right. For me, again, this is another game I kind of went back and forth on, but what it came down to is trenches. That's where games are won and lost, and the better defense. And also it came down to who has been better in these games, in big games. Which head coach has been able to make the least amount of mistakes in big games? And that's Marcus Freeman. So I'm picking Notre Dame to win this game close. Again, this is not anything to do with Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck has a nice game. I think he plays well. But unfortunately, I think this Notre Dame defense is going to kind of overwhelm the offense a little bit. It's going to be really close all the way through. I don't think any team's going to be able to pull away. But I've seen enough of Mario Cristobal in the biggest moments for me not to trust him to win this game, especially the opening week. So give me Notre Dame to win this game very, very close on the road. Cody?
Similar mindset. I've seen we beat Mario Cristobal way too many times. I've seen him, make some dumb decisions as a coach, or the team just wasn't prepared. I mean, I think they're going to be prepared. In fact, if you look at just the Jimmies and Joes of this is Miami's chance. I mean, really, this is one of their best teams they've built in a long time. And you coach them right. They've got a new defensive coordinator, I believe. They've got a shot, but Mario Cristobal every time. And then you look at the opposite, Marcus Freeman. I mean, everybody wants to run through a brick wall with that guy. And I don't think they're going to come off of a high. I think they're going to come out hungry, knowing what they were able to accomplish last year. And I think they're going to build on it. So I feel like that's Marcus Freeman. So I think Notre Dame's going to win close, but it wouldn't shock me, especially with Carson Beck wanting to have a really good debut with his team. I wouldn't shock me if he comes out swinging and Miami has a great game. But right now, I'm thinking Notre Dame.
I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm going to be a pretty much Miami fan this year. Like, they will be my second team this year.
Oh, I know you will be. And again, this game had nothing to do with, like, I observed this. I picked this game objectively. Had nothing to do with Carson Beck. Has nothing to do with my supposed vendetta against him. I don't have a vendetta against him. I just had to pick the better team, the team I trust more, and I think it's Notre Dame. Unfortunately, next game is a Monday night game. TCU on the road to play North Carolina. I've already expressed how I feel about this TCU team. I don't believe in them at all, and deep down inside, do I really, really think they're going to go 3-9? No, but I can't give them any credit after the things I've seen on social media from this team at all. So I'm going to pick North Carolina to win this game close. I do think that Bill Belichick wants to get a statement win. Max Johnson's actually not the starter. It's somebody else is going to be the opening day starter for them. Let me pull that up real quick. It's a transfer. Gio Lopez, transfer from South Alabama. He's a pretty nice dual threat quarterback. So, but yeah, again, I observed this game objectively, not just my hatred towards TCU or
your actual vendetta,
actual vendetta against them. But I've got UNC winning this game close at home. I think they need a good statement win. I think Bill Belichick needs a good statement win, and I think his coaching experience wins him this game. I don't think UNC is going to be necessarily a great team this year, but they at least get this one. So North Carolina close. Cody?
I'm excited to see Belichick. Like, can you actually come out of the NFL, be so successful, and then come in? And how many transfers did UNC get? It was like 42.
A lot.
Like, it's wild how many has come in. So if anybody's going to be able to do what Deion's trying to do, it's going to be Bill Belichick. The only thing that they've got against them is, for some reason, they hired Jeff Collins, and he is an analyst.
I forgot about that.
But he's just an analyst. So I think UNC will win close. And now that I'm learning more about TCU, I wouldn't want to make that comfortable. But I think UNC's got the dudes to pull it off. I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be hard getting used to it and getting used to game day for everybody. But I think North Carolina pulls it off.
Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm not gonna blab this time. I think it's UNC close.
All right, and now the game all of us have been waiting for, the game of the week. This one is on Saturday at 12. I don't know why it's at 12. It should be a primetime game. We can argue about that another day. Texas going on the road to play Ohio State. I think the AP poll fumbled the bag. And they should have made this game a 1v2 matchup, but instead it's going to be a 1v3 matchup, whatever. But I digress. Cody, give me your thoughts on this game, and who do you have winning?
There's so many things that I thought about and was trying to piece it together. And I mean, it's as close as it gets. So I'm choosing over home field advantage. And the fact that I don't know what Manning's going to be able to pull off. What's the kid that won started Saiyan, right? Is that his last
Julian
name?
Saiyan, yeah, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I mean, Why not with a name like that? Super Saiyan. I hope that becomes a meme that they do.
It
I'm
already
choosing
is.
Buckeyes. I'm choosing Buckeyes close at home.
Mitchell, give me your thoughts on this game.
Of course, you want to go last. There you go. I think this game comes down to the secondary, and I think that Texas has a better secondary, a better defense in whole that's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Julian Sayin. These are two very inexperienced quarterbacks, but you wouldn't believe it if I told you Arch Manning actually has more experience starting than Julian Sayin does after his couple stints last year. I do think Texas pulls this game out with the running backs and the secondary. This game is going to be a barn burner. It is going to be so good. It's not going to be like Texas Michigan was last year. I think this game to be really, really good. And again, this is not an elimination game whatsoever for either of these teams, but it's going to be a fantastic game being played at 12 o'clock noon.
Yeah, I don't care for either one of these teams. I was pretty apathetic about Texas before last season and the stuff they pulled in the Georgia game last season, but now I don't care for either one of these teams. But I am going to enjoy every minute of this game, like no doubt. Even though I don't like either team, you can't doubt that both teams are amazing. They're both in the top three for a reason, and the quarterback situation is going to be the story of the night. I saw something that was posted recently that a quarterback making his first ever start has never won a game against the number one overall team in his first start. They're 0-18. And so that would be a disadvantage for Ohio State. But here's the thing. I'm picking Ohio State to win this game close. And here's why I'm picking Ohio State to win this game. Not just because of home field advantage and all that stuff. This game is giving me the same vibes that the Tennessee-Ohio State game gave me last year. All the pundits are saying, no way Ohio State wins this game. This SEC school is going to come in there. They're going to overtake their stadium. I mean, I'm hearing Texas fans saying they're going to overtake the stadium, overtake the shoe. I'm not hearing any ESPN analysts pick Ohio State to win this game. Everybody's picking Texas. Listen, I think Ohio State, even though they just won the national championship, they're returning most of those guys. And I think they're going to come out saying, guys, you still are doubting us. You still doubt this team. We're going to come out. We're going to silence the critics. I think they win this game. It's a very close one. I think we're going to see the inexperience of both quarterbacks. I also think just the tremendous pressure that's going to be on Arch Manning. He's going to make a huge mistake late in this game that's going to cost him. Whereas there's pressure on both quarterbacks, don't get me wrong. But I think we all can be honest and say the pressure on Arch Manning right now is tremendous. I think he's going to feel the weight on his shoulders. He makes a big mistake late in the game. But it doesn't eliminate them by any means from playoff contention. But I think Ohio State pulls this one off and wins it.
Let me. While we're on this topic, this is a bit of breaking news from On3 on Twitter. Fox and YouTube TV are in a carriage dispute ahead of the college football season. So the deadline to reach an agreement is Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If they do not reach an agreement by Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, the Auburn at Baylor game and Texas at Ohio State game could be impacted and not be able to view through YouTube TV.
I will riot.
Someone, well, for the sake of we have 0 viewers, someone said, if this isn't figured out, I'm going to make January 6th look like it was an open invitation.
Well, remember this happened last year. Disney had the dispute with DirecTV, which affected Sling, right? Or was that the year before? Yep. So, but then they got it figured out like last minute, and everybody got to watch their show. So
I bet I'm paying so much money for YouTube TV. I better be able to watch.
We could get lucky in the place that we're staying at, Zach, just have regular cable and be able to watch it. So
there's gonna be so many YouTube streamers too. I mean, just keep looking, and when it gets pulled, just watch the next one.
All right, let's get to our Superdog picks. I guess I'll go first with my Superdog pick, unless somebody wants to volunteer to go first.
No, you go first. You can go first.
All right, I'm going to go with Marshall covering Georgia. I'm just kidding. I knew y'all would give me flack if I chose that game. I'm actually going to pick Coastal to cover the 12-point spread against Virginia. Again, I don't believe in Tony Elliott. I don't believe in his coaching ability or this Virginia team at all. I don't know why the spread is so big. Maybe Coastal is really bad. I don't know, but I feel that this is the right move. Give me Coastal to at least cover the 12-point spread against Virginia this weekend. Mitchell, why don't you give me your super dog?
So my super dog actually comes from a team that's already played. I've got Hawaii covering the 17.5 against Arizona. I think this is the same boat. I think Arizona is kind of a meh team with a lot of question marks. Hawaii has the game experience already. They're already kind of warm, and I don't think they're going to win this game. I would love for them to, but I think they come out quick, and it keeps the game close the whole time to where Arizona can't win this game by more than 17 points. So I think Hawaii covers against Arizona, and I will be up at 2 a.m. making sure that happens.
It's funny you mentioned Arizona. We were supposed to do a segment about hot seat coaches, and I totally forgot about it. But Brett Brennan is actually number one in Vegas odds to be the first one fired. So wouldn't surprise me if they covered that. So, Cody, give me your super dog.
So both teams have already played for mine. And it's UNLV and Sam Houston. I think Sam Houston might cover the 10.5-point spread against UNLV after the abysmal game that I just watched last week that UNLV attempted to play. So
good old Dan Mullen.
Dude, that was rough. So if anything looks like last week, I think my boys said Sam Houston might actually cover. So go Bearcats.
That team like had some people predicting they were going to make the playoff.
Dude, for some reason, man, people glaze Dan Mullen. I don't know why. They glaze that man. And he's not that good of a coach. He's not that good of a coach, guys. He's just not. So, yeah, that was actually one that I had my eye on as well. But I decided, UNLV almost lost last week, so I figured they'd probably figure it out this week. But who knows? But those are our super dogs. Also, there's one more thing that I wanted to do. My son is 16 months old. He's a toddler. I wanted to include him in this. This is just for fun. He's not getting points or anything. I just want to look at the end of the season and see how he does against us. And so I had him pick the winners of each one of these games this week. He has these little colored barns, and I just literally did the color scheme, and I had him pick. So Emerson, my son, has Nebraska winning, has Auburn beating Baylor. He's got Tech beating Colorado. He's got Tennessee beating Syracuse, which my in-laws will be happy that Emerson picked Tennessee. He's got Florida State beating Alabama.
Yeah, come on, baby.
Okay.
He's got Clemson beating LSU. He's got Virginia Tech beating South Carolina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's got Miami beating Notre Dame. He's got TCU beating North Carolina. And then he's got Ohio State beating Texas. So
what's his super dog?
Just something fun. We'll look back next week and see if him just picking colors is going to,
what's his
do
super
better
dog?
than me, do better than his dad. So
super dog.
Yeah. Super dog. Yeah, I guess once he can talk, I'll let him pick a super dog.
Yeah. I think that's it.
His super dog is Mary Mack over Kent State. There you
go.
go.
Wow. Good pick. There's no line on that, so he could win that. There's actually no posted line for that. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching that game. You guys think I'm joking?
You're not watching that game, dude. I guarantee you're not watching that game.
Okay. All right.
You have to send video proof that you're actually watching.
You're gonna be with me.
That's the only thing
I'm
gonna
gonna
have
be
on
with
the
you.
TV.
We're sharing a TV. We're not watching that game.
I have a phone.
All right, that's the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you back next week, probably same place, same time, maybe.
Well, Monday we'll be traveling back.
Oh yeah,
home,
not Monday. So we'll figure it out next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We will let you know. We'll be live. Catch us. Mitchell Graham, Zach Brown, Cody Batten. We will see you. Peace.